What's up, guys? It's Maida.
It's John.
We're gonna answer some questions from YouTube. Azuka R Marina 5000 asks, do you both experience better treatment from people after your transformation? You want to start? You want me to start?
You can start.
All right. Yes, definitely. The world's a different place after you lose weight, and it's different on multiple levels, some good and some bad. So, for me, I lost 125 pounds in 5.5 months, and like the first 3 months of that, I was still in school. It was my sophomore year of high school, and by the end of those 3 months, I had lost like 70 pounds, but nobody noticed, so I didn't really get any different treatment. But over the summer, I lost the rest of the weight, and that was like really the defining weight, because I went from 200 pounds to 145 pounds, and I was very thin, and I looked completely different. So I remember walking into school for the first time my junior year of high school, and it was like the world was a completely different place. It was literally like a movie. It's really hard to explain, but so as soon as I walked in the door, there were people staring at me, and there were like two looks. It was like they're either staring at me because they recognized me and they couldn't believe it, or they were staring at me because they thought that I was some new kid and they were wondering who I was. But I remember going to my first class. It was English, and all the desks were in a circle because it was like the introduction day, and there was this girl sitting across from me, and she was very, very outspoken, and she just kept staring at me. So I'm like twiddling my thumbs because I'm really nervous. I'm still kind of that fat kid on the inside, and she just keeps looking at me, and finally she's like, "Is that George?" Because I used to go by George. And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And she's like, "Oh my God, stand up." So she had me stand up and spin in front of the entire class, and I was extremely embarrassed because, keep in mind, my body had changed, but I was still kind of the same fat kid on the inside. And basically the whole day was people approaching me. As I was walking through the hallway, people would come up to me and start a conversation. People would like look at my direction and smile at me, and I was not used to that. People would open up doors for me. Girls would talk to me. This was like a completely different world, because when I was a bigger person, I isolated myself. It was like I was in a bubble walking through every day, like I was invisible, and all of a sudden it's like I became visible, and everybody wanted to talk to me, wanted to get to know me.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's the same for me pretty much. I mean, people before, obviously I had a lot of negative criticism from random strangers. They, say really terrible things, man.
Yeah.
Like, people just really have a lot of negative things to say about me in front of my face and behind my back too. Mm-hmm. As far as what I looked like physically. Obviously when I lost weight and have the physique I have now, like, I get a lot of smiles and hellos and things I didn't get before, types of treatment I didn't get before. I always was the type that opened the door for people before, but I mean, I don't think I really remember too much of people opening the door for me outside of like friends and family and whatnot. But that kind of stuff happens more often now.
Yeah.
Random people ask like, "How's my day going?"
Yeah. Like go shopping, go to the store, and the person at the desk is gonna greet you with a smile.
Yeah.
They're gonna ask, "How's your day?"
Yeah, it's less of a look of like disgust.
I think it's a look of isolation. Like when I was a bigger person, anytime someone would look at me, it was like an isolating look where I wanted to like recluse into myself. Now it's a welcoming look.
Oh, well, you mean the looks that people would give you? Yeah. Okay, right.
Well, the way that I felt from how they looked.
Yeah.
Before, when they looked at me, it made me feel more shy and reserved.
And
but now
the thing about that too
opening.
Is like it's not like they were necessarily even giving you a bad look. It's just the way you interpreted it.
Yeah, but sometimes you can tell.
Yeah, sometimes you can tell for sure. But I mean,
they give you that up-down look first?
Yeah, the up-down, like, and then you can see just like the tension in the eyebrows.
Yeah.
It's like a feeling of disgust. But and the thing is, like, you would get those types of looks so often that even in times where they wouldn't be giving you those looks, you would feel and assume that they were.
Yeah.
And that's something that I noticed was going on just because of the way people treated me so often, like it was like a form of conditioning.
Yeah.
Like I was conditioning myself to have that type of response. But for sure, you know, people are a lot nicer. You know, I get comments from like ladies. I never got that before, like at all.
But on the flip side, another thing is people are judgmental based upon your appearance. And before, that was kind of a negative thing because I was a bigger guy, but now I'm like very fit, so people assume certain things about me. I used to be able to be like in the other video I said that I was like the Dr. Phil, the black Dr. Phil. I used to be able to play that character, but now I really can't because people, especially girls, aren't as comfortable to open up to me because they just assume that I'm like every other guy now.
Yeah, and
there's no difference.
And see, this is part of the negative aspect that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There's positives and negatives because I get a lot of negative. I still get like negative treatment today after even having gotten fit because like, okay, so I was out of a gym for a couple weeks and I was browsing around gyms just to try and find options that were cheap because I'm kind of on a tight budget right now. So like I went to like a Planet Fitness, right? Because I just wanted, you know, I heard it's cheap and, you know, I wanted to go in. So I go in and immediately I get greeted with the same look of disgust that I remember very vividly having gotten so often when I was bigger.
Yeah.
And basically I walked in and I said, hello, my name's John. I greeted all the employees. I'm in the market for a new gym, and you know, I heard this is a pretty affordable place to be, and I was very, very just straightforward with them, and they did not, like, they looked at me for like 15 seconds, gave me the up down look. I noticed the tension in the eyebrows, and they were like, we'll be with you in a moment.
Like one of these guys.
And like, so basically the representative came over and he said, okay. And I was like, I reached out to shake his hand, and the guy looked at my hand, took another 10 seconds to take his clipboard that he had in his hand, put it down and shake my hand. And he did not even give me his name. And I was like, this is so fucking unprofessional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This guy doesn't have the decency to just show a customer some you know, like, professionalism. So basically, he just gives me the rundown of the gym, and he's like, oh, you know, our gym doesn't have squat racks or barbells. They're not safe for people to use, and we don't believe in them. And I'm like, okay, dude, all right, just give me the rundown of the gym. And yeah, I did not feel comfortable in there. I mean, it was the same feeling of man, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like discrimination that I felt before when I was bigger, but it was the same thing of being fit. It's like, what, you know, like, just because I look a certain way, I'll get this type of treatment, and just because I look another way, I'll get another type of treatment. It's like either way, you're gonna experience some kind of discrimination.
Yeah.
And I get that in the gym too. When I go into the gym and, like, say if I'm lifting heavy weight, people will like glance at me and like, it's the same type of shit. People just need to stop judging one another. I mean, but it's just I guess it's just human nature in a lot of aspects to do that. But the thing is, that's one of the reasons why I don't like to judge people, because, like, you know, you never know what someone's story is. You never know where they're coming from. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand that. But you know, that's the thing about appearance.
Yeah. Long story short, after you lose weight, people will treat you differently.
Yeah.
A lot differently.
Whether that's positive or negative, that really remains to be seen. But for sure, people do treat you differently.
Yeah. And you'll be feeling differently about yourself, presenting yourself in a different way, so then people will see that change in you, and they'll treat you a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But anyways, we hope that answers your question.
Yeah. And you know, if you have any others, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll try and get back to y'all as soon as we can.
This is Waida.
And this is John. Y'all have a good one, all right?
Peace.
Peace.